So very big wins for America and India in that last video, but India is not necessarily out of kind of the big conflicts going on still in this world. Because this is what they're facing, and it's going to be a tough one to win. Luckily, so far, I think they are winning it. Yeah, the Assyrians have -11 war score. It is a nationalist war, and I don't believe any of the Indian allies have been separate peace just yet. And the big ones are France and Byzantium. I'm actually surprised. Well, Byzantium will be very soon. They'll be separate peace, I believe. So I don't think they're going to stay around for much longer. When it comes to France, I don't know how they're still surviving. I mean, France is just unstoppable at a certain point. Okay, maybe they're not unstoppable. They're unstoppable. You can't stop France. Is that right? You can't stop France. It just can't happen. I don't know how. They're facing huge, all along, almost entirely along the French borders. They have enemies, but for some reason, they just never really, I don't think I've ever seen them fully occupied. They sometimes get occupied, but they're never fully occupied. Now Poland is over here trying to take on France. I mean, it's crazy. Also, something to keep in mind is that, once again, Russia has given military access to the Spanish coalition, I guess, or friendship. So Poland and Venice have been moving through Russian territory, through Swedish territory, and through Russian-English territory to get towards India. But luckily, India has been pushing them back. As you can see, a few occupations have occurred in northern India. But still, India's done a great job at going after the Venetian and Spanish-controlled provinces to the south. So India's done good there, and they've been getting a bit of war score as well. Luckily, the Assyrians, I believe, are too focused on attacking the Byzantine Empire, and they're not really focusing their sights on the war goal, which is Babylon. The war goal is for Babylon. Over the break, Songhai just got themselves involved into a war with Haiti and the Inca, but over the break, Songhai took out Carthage. They took out all of Carthage. They just, boom, ate straight through them. And they actually have the pass through this wasteland. They have one of the only pass through the middle part of the Sahara Desert. So that's kind of a big deal. We'll see if they maybe take over these Byzantine provinces, or exactly how much tension continues to build between Songhai and North Spanish Africa, I guess. So yeah, Songhai wants to completely eliminate Haiti from the sub-Saharan region, which is pretty smart, and they will more than likely do so. I don't believe the Inca or Haiti is going to try anything here. So Haiti will be kicked out of Africa, and remember, they had a pretty good chunk here. Let's look at this. I mean, they had all of this under their control. So Songhai's doing a pretty great job so far. Are they only allied to... Songhai has no friends, actually. No friends at all. That's not good, because if Spain ever sets their sights on Africa, I can guarantee you Spain's going to go after Songhai first. Almost. Because they're not going to go after Assyria. Remember, they're friends with Assyria. You know, now that I think about it, this might be bad. Because we were ultimately hoping for an Assyrian-Spanish border, which would probably lead to coalitions. Would ultimately lead to border tension, and then maybe an opinion, an opinion penalty, a penalty modifier or something between these two nations. But I don't know if that's going to happen now. I really don't know if that's going to happen. Oh, okay, so Byzantium was just separate peace, and so was France. They both were at the same time. India is, allied to France. That's what I thought. They're also allied to Denmark. When did they get that up? So this is where things are going to get really tough for India. Although, look at that. Spain is also out of the war. Spain and Venice out of the war. Oh, that's big. And England. Of course, England probably still is going to allow Poland to move through Russian and English-Russian territory. But this is going to be a lot more, I think, a lot easier for India to have some success here. So yeah, they've been separate peace. They can go after maybe this part of the Zulu territory, which actually the Indonesians have already gone after. Babylon as well. This is such an awesome alliance. I cannot believe this makeshift alliance is working out. India has done a great job, somehow. And again, this was huge that Indonesia grabbed this territory back. That is massive. Anyways, so this has gone down to just Assyria, the Zulu, and Poland versus Babylon, India, and Indonesia. -22 war score the Assyrians are at right now. I don't think they're going to lose anything. I don't think they can lose anything. Wait a second. Did Assyria take things from Ethiopia, though? They might have just lost one province. Yes, 1910. I think they lost one thing, which isn't that big of a deal. Ethiopia's not involved in this war, are they? No, yeah, they're done. Okay, just making sure. Okay, we have Polynesia versus Portugal. That's been going on for a while. They're still at, pretty much 0. I don't think anything's going to happen there. Songhai's at -2 war score, which is pretty surprising. This is the one we haven't talked about. Denmark and Austria were working together to fight Sweden, who was originally alone in this war. But eventually Sweden called in, the big guys, the big guns. So we'll see what happens here. This is going to be a pretty big problem. If they can hold on to that war score, or if they can at least hold back the Venetians and the Spanish, then they will... Because look, I mean, almost all of Sweden is occupied here in Scandinavia. And in like Norwegian region and northern Russian territory. So they might be able to, if they can just hold back this alliance... no, they're already at 0 war score again, so it's unlikely. And that's too bad, because Denmark would have probably cleaned up these borders by quite a bit, but I don't think we're going to see that anymore. We are 1761, so I'm trying to go to at least the next decade per video now, which might be a strategy that I might want to do for future AIs, future AI onlys, is just to make sure that we start up every video in the next decade. Well, maybe not in the very beginning. Okay, so one war just ended. The Assyrian War just ended. Okay, let's see what happened there. So did they? I didn't think they were going to take anything. I don't think Assyria lost anything either. They didn't lose any alliances. Yeah, nothing ended up happening. Ooh, notice that Assyria is allied to Polynesia. Was Polynesia involved in the war? I don't think so. No, they definitely were not. We would have for sure seen that. I think that would have been pretty clear. Although all this Polynesian territory is completely undefended. Something to keep in mind. Who they allied to, and are they able to defend against China? Because China will probably be going to war with them soon. Assyria and Spain, I don't know exactly how... That will probably help China to stay out of the war, but eventually I'm sure China will go ahead and bite the bullet and try. Did Byzantium lose anything in this process? I think they might have. They probably lost these two, or were these guys already... 18. Yeah, so they did end up losing. So Assyria did grab a few provinces out of the war from Byzantium and from Ethiopia. But nothing from Babylon. They didn't hurt at all the Indian alliance. Yeah, so the Indian alliance is still there. Oh my gosh, India is now allied to China. They said screw France and screw... who else? No, they still have Denmark. They're now allied to China. Oh, wait, why did you do that, India? You were supposed to... You were supposed to... Well, man, I can't even remember. Episode 3, Return of the Sith, or whatever. Revenge of the Sith, right? You were supposed to something, not destroy it. Jeez, I'm totally blanking. But yeah, you were supposed to destroy the dark side, not join them, or something, I don't know. That's exactly what we're seeing. I feel like India's joined the dark side right there. Kind of teaming up with China. I mean... Maybe China was just sick of the constant threat of the Western powers with Assyria and Spain and all the big nations from Europe. But this is going to be a problem because now who are they going to defend? I don't think this is going to stay together. Or China's going to smarten up as an AI and they're going to realize, wait a second, I can't go to war with Indonesia anymore or else I'm going to lose. Because Indonesia would never declare war on China first. I don't think that will ever happen. Indonesia's way too weak. So I think... Either China's just never going to go to war with Indonesia, or they will, and then India is going to defend Indonesia. I guess it's possible that India decides to join in with China after Indonesia, but because they're on such good terms, yeah, I doubt it. It's a pretty good relationship. Wow, the opinion map mode looks really very interesting. I like this. We should be looking at this a little bit more. Poland hated by Denmark and Russia. Oh, are those wars over? They are. So, Polynesia, I don't think grabbed anything. How would we know, though? Oh, they did grab some stuff. They grabbed Papua New Guinea. Parts of Papua New Guinea. Remember, Portugal had this entire wasteland under their control. But because they lost provinces, that is no longer the case. So, successful war for Polynesia there. And let's see if Denmark grabbed anything. I think they did. They did, didn't they? Yeah, there you go. So, they were somewhat successful as well. Sweden's still located in Scandinavia, but they are really, really close to being completely kicked off of Europe. They still have this part of Swedish territory, but I don't know if that's going to stay up for very much longer. Who's Russia allied to? Pretty much nobody. Yeah, India really, oh gosh. And this is an independence war, but they have a lot of people coming to help them out. So this is Spanish Colombia wanting their independence from Spain. Spain obviously calling in Poland. Something to keep in mind, though, is that these nations have constantly been at war. So I don't know if they're going to be able to defend this stuff. They have been consistently at war for several decades now, years now. I don't know if they continue. I don't know if they're going to continue to have the strength or the willpower to want to do this. I mean, their war exhaustion. All of these nations must have very high war exhaustion. They could obviously take that down with diplomatic power, but still, kind of a big deal, something to consider. So Spanish Colombia, with Shanghai, California trying to get their independence. Venice as all. Oh my gosh, no way. Oh, this is also Venice trying to grab their own independence. That is interesting. Morocco, Carthage, China, and Siam. China and Siam are also coming to help out the Venetians. Wow. Wow. Oh my gosh. I don't know what's going to happen here. The weird thing is I feel like France would be the ultimate decider if they decided to join in, but I don't think they are. France probably could help decide this, whether France were to support the independence of Venice or decide to help out Iberia and Spain. I think they'd be a pretty big deal. Assyria is going to be the problem too, though. But again, these nations have all been at war. I don't know. We'll see if Venice... I mean, I don't know if this is going to be possible because I think Venice could be the one to pull them all down. Remember, if just one of the nations ends up not having that much success, one of the nations that are trying to grab their independence, usually that pulls everybody down. This is kind of too big a war, I think, for them to win. I mean, we're going to go to Speed 5 and probably find out by the end of the video, or at least have an idea if this is going to be successful or not. Let's go into the Italian Peninsula and kind of look at what's going on. Poland, I think, is going to be a big factor of why Venice might not be able to hold back this alliance in Europe. I'm shocked that Venice decided to actually... This might be their final chance, to be honest, too. I don't know if they're going to have another chance. Assyria here. Venice really needs to utilize their navy in the Mediterranean. Spain has a lot of their ships out there scattered throughout the Atlantics, or throughout all the oceans, through the Atlantic and the Pacific and everywhere, because they're pretty much a global empire at this point. But I think Venice is much more consolidated within the Mediterranean, so they need to defend. No, maybe they're not. There's a big chunk of Spanish ships. So I will completely stop talking about that because that is clearly not the case. Spain is over here, but where is Spain and Iberia? Spain's got nothing in Iberia. Again, if they could have just got that French support could have been huge. But I don't know if Venice can do this. Because nobody really else can help out. Except for, I mean, Shanghai might be able to help out a little bit. But Shanghai is going to be just, yeah, they have to go through North Africa first. There will be some Assyrian Shanghai conflicts. Oh, Spain is over here, though. Oh, no, this is Morocco. Oh, Morocco's going to help out. I forgot about that. I mean, I realized that Morocco was there involved in the war, but I didn't realize that they had an actual force that they were going to use. That's pretty great. Where's that war score at? It's at 2 right now. Shanghai also still fighting Haiti, something else to keep in mind. They're at -17 war score, so I don't think they called or they used the right casus belli to have this war successful. Remember, though, I think to get your independence, you need about 20. Is it 20 or 25 or 15? Somewhere around there. 15 to 25 to get your independence. Oh, but America is going to dominate California, and that will be the downfall. So either way, whether it's California or Venice that collapses first, you know, they needed kind of all parties in this war to be successful, and that doesn't seem to have happened. It's pretty crazy because they did, you know, end up getting a very, very good support. They got great support from the Chinese. That was a big deal, but that clearly was not enough. I don't think. I mean, China's not really a global empire at all. They don't have stakes all around the world. They don't, you know, really care, and they haven't really chosen to send out and compete in global warfare. They're completely, you know, I think restricted to Eastern Asia, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes it's even better because, you know, Venice and Spain, you know, might be a little bit too spread out. They can't always defend their territory. But it's very unlikely. I don't think we're going to see these. They're at 0 war score now. But, I mean, it's going... It seems like it's probably, for the most part, going down. It's going pretty far downhill. Let's go into Venice, see how many occupied provinces there are. Yeah, there's quite a few. Best case scenario now would be for maybe France to call a separate war, even though I do believe they have a truce. Yeah, so it doesn't matter. That's not going to happen. They've got a truce with Spain until 1765. Oh, it is 1765. So there you go. I mean, you might get lucky. I mean, they still have 6 months or so. Yeah, Poland is the killer though. I think Poland is what hurts the most. Although Syria is now over here too, so maybe there's a range of factors, I guess. Is Songhai and Morocco allied though? Or are they just helping? No, they're not allied. Songhai and Morocco should be allied. I don't think they like each other though. Actually, they do. So they will probably get an alliance going on. So this could be kind of like India and Babylon in sub-Saharan Africa, where Babylon really isn't that strong, but, you know, having the help of India or having that little extra help for Songhai that the Moroccans can provide could really kind of help separate them and become this kind of great power. I think I'll probably check on the ledger in the next video since we'll be about 50 years away from the end of the campaign. So we'll probably do one last check on some of the great powers. And, wait, I didn't realize that Polynesia was also involved in this. So Siam's doing a pretty good job here. Actually, you know, China might be able to separate peace Polynesia. I'm surprised that they still have positive war score. California now fighting the Mayans by themselves. Wait a second, does that mean that California... No. That's messed up. That is messed up, the Mayans. They have been... but the Mayans have been doing... They've done a good job. They've been very opportunistic in their wars. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Kind of deciding to declare their wars at the best time. And again, this is going to give the Mayans even more power here in kind of a region that originally when we started this campaign, I thought Songhai, or I'm sorry, I thought the Shoshone, who were destroyed a long time ago, were going to dominate. So the Mayans are going to reach all the way up here. They're probably going to, I don't know if they're going to get a new border with Alaska. It's possible, but I don't know. Alaska is being supported by France. So France is supporting, they are in fact supporting the independence of a few colonies, but not the Spanish colonies. I'm sure that's probably smart though. They don't want to get themselves involved in a war with Spain, who's been, I mean, they've been able to hold back, but they never are successful in any of those. Did Songhai peace out with Haiti? They did, and they did not get this province back. Got to call the better war next time, Songhai. Got to use that better casus belli, fabricated claim or something. That's kind of what you need to do. But anyways, guys, let's do one last check here. They're at 0 war score. Very doubtful that they're going to get any of these independences, but still, nice try, though. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.